I never thought my own sister would try to destroy my career just because I refused to sell her a stake in my startup. That night at the company gala, she confronted me in front of everyone, accusing me of betrayal. Colleagues whispered, shocked. I left feeling shattered but determined not to lose what I'd built. Weeks later, I kept control of my company and watched her legal threats crumble in court. Before I continue, let me know where you're watching from. Hit like if you've faced sabotage from family, and subscribe to hear how I turned betrayal into victory. I'm Sarah Collins, 29, a tech entrepreneur. I started from scratch and now lead a $7 million app development company. Growing up, my sister Lisa was always the favorite. She got everything easily while I worked tirelessly. That night at the gala, she publicly humiliated me, but I fought back. With my team and investors behind me, I protected my vision. Now, I'm stronger than ever, and Lisa's attempts to take me down only fueled my success. Growing up in the Collins household, I lived in the shadow of my sister Lisa, the girl who could do no wrong in our parents' eyes. She was everything I wasn't: charming, persuasive, decisive. And it seemed like the world bent to her will without her even trying. Lisa had this way about her, a sparkle that made people lean in, hang on her every word. Whether she was sweet-talking our parents into getting her the latest gadget or shrugging off a scolding with a smile, she always landed on her feet. Meanwhile, I was the one burning the midnight oil, poring over textbooks or interning at odd jobs just to carve out a space for myself. It wasn't that I minded the work, I liked it even, but the contrast between us was impossible to ignore. Our parents didn't hide their favoritism, though I don't think they meant to hurt me. It was subtle, woven into the fabric of our family life. Lisa's little victories, a B on a test, a role in the school play, were met with applause and hugs, while my straight A's or late-night projects barely got a nod. I remember our high school graduation day so clearly. It was supposed to be our day, both of us crossing that stage, diplomas in hand. But all I could hear was Mom and Dad gushing over Lisa. How radiant she looked, how proud they were. When my name was called, they clapped, sure, but their eyes were already back on her, planning her celebration dinner. I stood there, gripping that rolled-up piece of paper, feeling like a guest at my own milestone. That moment stuck with me, a quiet ache I couldn't shake. There were other times, too, like when I won the science fair in 10th grade. I'd spent months on that project, testing and tweaking until it was perfect. I was so proud, thinking maybe this time they'd see me. But that same day, Lisa threw a fit because she didn't get the lead in the school musical. By the time I got home with my ribbon, they were too busy consoling her to notice. I didn't make a fuss. I never did. I just tucked the hurt away, let it fuel my determination instead. If they wouldn't see my worth, I'd prove it to myself. I don't blame them. Not really. Lisa's charm was a gift, and maybe our parents were just drawn to it, like moths to a flame. They weren't cruel, just human. Still, it left me with this lingering sense of being overlooked, a feeling I've spent years trying to outgrow. Those early days taught me something, though. Success doesn't come from applause or handouts. You have to build it, brick by brick, and guard it with everything you've got. That's why, years later, when Lisa tried to take my company, I fought so hard to keep it. It wasn't just about the business. It was about holding on to something I'd earned, something no one could dim or dismiss. Looking back, I see how that quiet struggle shaped me. The late nights, the unseen efforts. They made me resilient. I learned to find strength in myself, not in others' praise. And though there's a part of me that wishes things had been different, I understand it now. That pain, that drive. it's what got me here. At 22, I took the plunge and launched my own business. It started as a simple accounting app for small businesses. Not flashy, but born from frustration during internships dealing with clunky software that wasted time. I poured everything into it: savings from summer jobs, sleepless nights, weekends skipped with friends to fix one more bug. Success didn't come overnight. There were crashes to fix, features to add, and the constant fear that I'd run out of money before it took off. But my belief never wavered. That kept me going through caffeine-fueled haze. Meanwhile, Lisa bounced from one flashy venture to the next. An online fashion shop one month, a beauty blog the next, then a cafe that looked more Instagram-worthy than coffee-worthy, all fueled by our parents' money and enthusiasm. None lasted a year. The shop failed when skinny jeans went out of style, the blog fizzled from boredom, and the cafe? Charm alone doesn't brew espresso. Yet Mom and Dad never hesitated to praise her vision, while my app was dismissed as just Sarah's tech thing. It stung, but I bit my tongue and returned to my laptop, letting the sting sharpen my focus. At the app launch, Lisa showed up, smiling for photos, clinking glasses of cheap champagne. It was a small gathering of friends and early users in a cramped co-working space, but to me, it felt monumental. At first, she seemed supportive, asking about progress, suggesting marketing ideas that favored sparkle over strategy. I appreciated the gesture, or at least tried to. But as downloads grew and I hired my first coder, Lisa's attitude shifted. She began dropping by unannounced, eyeing my cluttered whiteboards and feedback notes. "You're working too hard," she said breezily, her smile masking sharp eyes. "When's the last time you had fun? You're missing out." I brushed it off. I was building something meaningful, but she kept at it. "You're so serious," she laughed, as if my dedication was a joke. "No social life, no boyfriend. What's the point?" Those little jabs, wrapped in sweetness, wore me down. I braced whenever I heard her heels clicking in the hall, knowing she'd stay just long enough to get under my skin. I learned to ignore her, focusing on milestones. Another update, another positive review. But the tension simmered, a constant buzz I couldn't silence. It was draining, always defending why I cared so deeply, why debugging code mattered more than cocktails. Still, every message from a grateful small business owner kept the fire alive. I was proud, exhausted but proud, of doing things my way. No matter how Lisa tried, she couldn't touch that. But I sensed her charm hid sharper claws, and I was becoming her target. Lisa's pressure began softly, like testing the waters. At a family dinner, the kind where laughter masks cracks, she leaned over mashed potatoes and said, "Sarah, why don't you sell me some shares? We could grow your company together, for the family." Her voice was syrupy, as if offering a gift. I smiled politely. "Thanks, Lisa, but I need to keep control to protect my vision." She gave that practiced smile we'd grown up with, but I caught something colder. Disappointment, maybe a chill. I shrugged it off, thinking it was nothing. Then came the calls. At first, weekly check-ins. "Hey, have you thought about my offer?" Then every few days, then daily. "Sarah, let me in. It's family. We share the wins, right?" Each time, a knot tightened in my chest. "Lisa, I can't," I'd say firmly. "I built this from scratch. It's mine." She'd sigh long and heavy, as if I'd broken her, and I'd hang up wondering why I felt guilty for standing firm. Things escalated. I heard whispers about family meetings discussing my company, meetings I wasn't invited to. Mom casually mentioned we were just tossing ideas around. Ideas about my hard work? Rumors crept in. Aunt Carol called me stubborn, accusing me of being too good for the family now. Old friends messaged, asking if I was truly shutting Lisa out. It felt like Lisa had weaponized the entire clan against me. The real blow came when Lisa targeted Jake, my first employee. He'd been with me since day one, coding through late nights on cheap pizza. One morning, he pulled me aside, eyes downcast. Lisa offered me double my salary to join her. Said you'd be okay with it. Family first, you know. My stomach sank. Family first? She was sabotaging my team, twisting my life into her story. I felt like a stranger in my own skin, surrounded by people who should love me unconditionally. But they took sides. Her side. I'd lie awake, replaying every jab and whispered doubt, wondering how it went so far. The pressure was suffocating, but it ignited something fierce. I wasn't just fighting for my company, I was fighting for myself. The gala night was meant to be my moment. I'd just secured a $3 million investment, a huge vote of confidence that all the late nights and stress had paid off. I stepped into the ballroom feeling unstoppable, dressed in a sleek black gown that made me feel powerful. The room buzzed, investors toasting, reporters jotting notes, clients laughing over champagne. Perfect. Everything aligned. Then Lisa took the mic. I smiled at first. She opened with a warm toast, full of charm, congratulating me. I thought, she's proud. How naive. Mid-sentence, her tone sharpened, slicing through the room. But let's be honest, she said, eyes locked on me. Sarah's success comes at a price. Silence. She's dishonest, selfish, ungrateful. She shut me out, her own sister, and I'm not sure she's fit to lead. Gasps rippled like fireworks. People turned, stared. Some showed sympathy. Others smirked, like they'd been waiting for this. My face burned with humiliation. Betrayal barely described it. It was as if she'd torn me apart in front of everyone. Lisa finished with a smug grin and strutted off stage, leaving me to face the wreckage. Backstage, I struggled for breath. Hands trembling, I gripped a table trying to make sense. How could she do this? In front of everyone? My own sister, tearing me down like I was nothing. Anger surged, mixed with stunned confusion. Why? What had I done? The pain nearly broke me, but beneath it, a spark flickered. She thought this would end me. Not a chance. This was my dream. I'd built it from the ground up, and I wasn't letting go. I slipped away quietly, heels clicking on the polished floor, swallowing tears and rage. Gala lights, whispers, Lisa's smug face. It pressed down like a heavy weight. But I refused to break there. Pushing through doors, cold night air hit me hard. Emily, my best friend and business partner, waited. She said nothing at first, just hugged me tight enough to steady my shaking. "We'll fix this," she said firmly. "We have the truth, and the investors believe us. Don't let her win." Her words cut through the chaos in my mind. Lisa thought she'd crushed me, but I wasn't finished. Sleep escaped me. My thoughts spun. Every lie, every jab Lisa threw. Yet, amidst the chaos, a quiet fire ignited. This was my breaking point. I could let it bury me or fight for everything I'd poured my soul into. There was no way I'd let her steal it. By morning, I was ready. I grabbed a notebook and started documenting every call, every rumor, every attempt to poach my team. Dates, details, times, a map of betrayal. It felt empowering, reclaiming control. Then I called investors. No spin, no hiding. I laid out the truth. Lisa's actions, her lies, why they didn't hold up. They listened. Many were shocked but trusted me. The results spoke for themselves. That trust fueled me. I knew Lisa wouldn't stop. She'd escalate, so I had to be smarter. I hired top corporate lawyers, experts in these battles. We combed through shareholder agreements, contracts, sealing every loophole. The process was exhausting, bills piling up. But it wasn't just about business anymore. It was about standing firm. That's when I realized I was stronger than I'd imagined. Years of being overlooked and dismissed had forged resilience. I wasn't the pushover Lisa expected. I could face the storm and keep moving. She could try to take it all, but not unless I gave up. And I wasn't about to. The courtroom was silent as the judge read the verdict. My heart pounded. I barely heard the words. When the phrase, "in favor of the defendant," landed, relief crashed over me like a tidal wave. I'd won. Months of grueling legal battles, sleepless nights, doubt, all culminated in victory. I sat, hands trembling, fighting tears. Inside I soared. Lisa's mask cracked. Her smug facade faded, leaving silence. She'd thrown everything, lies, charm, dirty tricks. But truth prevailed. Evidence was ironclad. The judge saw through her. She stormed out, heels clicking like fading echoes, no longer the queen she'd played. Her schemes lay in ruins. She vanished from the spotlight she'd clung to. I didn't celebrate with champagne or parties. Instead, I returned to my office, the same chair, flickering city lights outside, and sat quietly. The fight had been brutal, but I'd made it. Yet I knew rebuilding awaited. The company had suffered. It was time to recover. I gathered my loyal team, the ones who stood by me, and we got to work. New features, wider markets, a PR campaign shouting, "We're here to stay." Users cheered, investors returned. Now, 2 years later, my company is worth $7 million. That number astonishes me, but it's more than money. It's proof of our resilience. My team is my backbone, a family I trust completely. Investors don't just fund us, they believe in our vision. It's a feeling hard to describe, turning chaos into something solid, something real. Looking back, every attempt Lisa made didn't just fail, they made me tougher. Those dark days, betrayal, fear, they forged a stronger me. I learned to trust my instincts, stand firm, and lean on those who matter. Now I lead with everything, head, heart, and soul. It's been a wild ride, but it taught me this. I didn't just survive, I thrived. That's my strength, my story, and I'm proud. After the storm, I sat in my office, staring at city lights twinkling below. The silence was almost deafening, just me and the hum of the building. I'd won, against the odds, against chaos. But it wasn't the triumph I expected. It felt heavier, more complex. Then the phone rang. It was my parents. Their voices were tentative, wanting to fix things after court's decision. I listened, but something inside had changed. "Mom, Dad," I said evenly. "I'm glad you called, but we can't just rewind. I need boundaries, clear ones. Family isn't about demands or taking what's not yours. It's about genuine support that lifts you up, not pulls you down." Silence followed, then Mom's softer voice. "We love you, Sarah. We want to be in your life." I breathed deeply. "I want that too," I replied. "But it must respect who I am and what I've built. No more pressure, just love and honesty." They promised to try. I wasn't sure they fully understood, but it was a start. Hanging up, I felt lighter, as if I'd finally claimed my space. Now, I look ahead. The past taught me hard lessons, but it's behind me. I'm dreaming up new products, pushing my company into unknown territory. That excites me. More than that, I want to help young women starting out, facing the doubts and hurdles I did. If I can light their path, even a little, it's worth everything. Success isn't just a win, it's growth and inner strength. I'm living life my way, and that's the truest victory. Have you ever had someone you trusted, maybe family, try to block your dreams? I know the feeling. My sister Lisa did everything to derail me. She mocked my ideas and told me I'd fail. For a while, I doubted myself too. But I didn't stop, and I bet you've faced your own battles. I want to hear from you. How did you overcome obstacles? What kept you going when the world seemed against you? Share your story in the comments. We can inspire each other. Here's what I've learned. The sweetest success is the one you build yourself on your own terms, especially when it's hard-won. It's not just reaching the top. It's looking back and knowing you did it your way, no matter who tried to pull you down. Thank you for listening to my journey. If it resonated, please like, subscribe for more real stories, and share with someone who needs encouragement. Your support means everything.